Hey guys, it's Pisces Priestess. Um, so I was just sitting here reading some tarot earlier, and I connected my energy pretty strongly with my cards. So I knew that there was a pretty strong reading about to come through. I had just been sitting here. Sometimes I like to just give myself readings. And so sometimes, and when I do readings, I literally just ask spirit for messages. I don't really have any direct questions, although sometimes I guess I do. But for the most part, I'm willing to receive any messages from spirit that spirit has. And it's a good thing that I'm like that because I have a rather profound message here in front of me that I really wanted to record and share with you. It's like so intense and important that I feel that it's important to record tonight. And I haven't even done my monthlies yet. So I'm shuffling the cards and I'm just focusing and connecting me and the energy that I have with spirit. And out pops three cards. Like I have my phone sitting right here. And these cards, I can't really explain it logically, but they popped out in a way. They were all straight, all together. I guess I can just show you. Oh yeah, and I have this pink rock here for the lovely energies because this is really love feeling reading. So I made sure to wear this like bracelet. They both look kind of like rose quartz to me. So we have these energies present, but I'm gonna put this down here. And before I go, or before I go ahead, I also have this here. This was on my desk when I did this earlier, and it happened to be sitting next to this. And you'll understand why I told you that in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on because that's the North Star there. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, if you couldn't tell from the title anyways, I do feel that fixed energies really did call out to me. Because what popped up here, hold on just a second. Yeah, I knew something was weird with that. It wasn't in order. These cards came out just like this. So I was literally just shuffling, and the Strength card, the Star card, and the Three of Swords popped out. And I felt that that was a very, very, very important message there for Leo and Aquarius because this happened right after I focused my intent just to get a powerful reading from spirit. I just wanted to see what kind of energies were in the sky, and I'm just very open. So these cards, they popped out like right on my phone. My phone had happened to be sitting right next to me, and I mean they lined up perfectly with my phone. And when I looked to see what the cards were, I don't know why they keep trying to switch here, but they came out just like this. So I seen Aquarius, I seen Leo, and I seen the Three of Swords. So I feel immediately that there's a message here for Aquarius and Leo. And I thought for sure that it was just Aquarius and Leo, the whole reading, but this is actually for Aquarius, is for all the fixed signs. So I feel very much like the fixed signs of the universe contacted me tonight. So if you're a Scorpio or Aquarius, a Leo, or a Taurus, this message is for you. I have some notes here because I immediately started to take notes on this, and then I went out and I had dinner. But then I feel that it was best to record it tonight. I planned on recording this for my monthly videos, but I think it's so important to just do. This is important. Like I had to do it tonight, so that and I was gonna take notes, and I don't know. I may incorporate the notes here and there, but I'm just gonna focus on it and get it interpreted for you guys. So Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. And I do think that's why I showed you this thing here, because I could have very well tapped into some energies like that and with this North Star here. And I say that because the North and South Node are in Leo and Aquarius. Aquarius is the South Node and Leo is the North Node. And for those of you who don't know what that means, that is very karmic. It means the North Node is where we're all headed to karmically, and the South Node is what we're learning from. It's sort of the energy that we are moving from and therefore learning from and letting go a little bit of too. And I'm saying this because we have the World card here too that showed up for you guys. And the World card has Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus on it. So you see these four corners here? So all of the fixed signs have showed up. So this message is very, very important here. And I do believe that. And then I later checked the where the planets are right now, and it just so happened that the moon has just entered Leo today on the 6th. So I feel as I tapped into some North Node type of energy, and it does start out here. I'm going to interpret the Aquarius Leo energy first. And there's like so many different ways that we can interpret this. So we're just going to flow with this and just know that there will be a message or some sort of something here from the divine for you guys. So Aquarius, this is the very first card that popped out. And so if this isn't an Aquarius, although I do see this very much so as Aquarius and Leo, you guys are opposites in astrology. But this card is also a faith card. It's also a wish come true card because, you know, we wish on stars. So this is the star card, and it does symbolize wishing. But I see this very much as the Aquarius energy. And if this is Aquarius energy, I'm seeing Aquarius is always multitasking, right? I see that there is an Aquarius that's very busy or keeping themselves busy, could possibly even be busy replenishing situations or busy feeling a lot of emotions because she's pouring these waters out. Aquarius is the water bearer. So they always have that kind of nurturing energy to give to somebody. And they're very magical people, Aquarius are, but you know, they're very vulnerable. I'm seeing that there's something here with vulnerability too, because the woman here is completely exposed, and she's also still getting done what she has to get done in a vulnerable state. So this is about working hard and still being moderate. You see how she's pouring on the grass here and in this pool. So that's about the future and the past, and it's about the present as well. So there may be something here about Aquarius really thinking futuristically. You know, Aquarius is a very futuristically thinking sign, and sometimes they're thinking about the future. That's why she's replenishing both. She's replenishing the grass that will continue to grow, and she's replenishing this kind of ebb and flow here in the water. So I'm seeing here that there's some busyness here, and there's some busyness that's even being accomplished during vulnerability. So Aquarius and Leo are very much showing up here together, and there's something here about Aquarius with strength as well. So if you're not an Aquarius dealing with a Leo, your strength is coming up here. And it's interesting because we have the Three of Swords after that. These were the first three cards that popped out. So I'm seeing that there's some heartbreak here. Leo and Aquarius are going through some heartbreak. And the Three of Swords can also be a betraying energy. You know, this is heartbreak and betrayal. And that's just what it's this message is pretty straightforward. So it's kind of hard for me to incorporate my intuition because I know for sure, like I can hear it so loudly. So that's just why I'm a little hesitant with the energy because it feels really intense. It's almost a little nervous, guys, but immediately there's some heartbreak here. So you're an Aquarius and there's some heartbreak. You're a Leo and there's some heartbreak. There's also there's third party situation because this is a 3. And I don't always interpret this card here as a third party, but I'm hearing that very strongly for this. So one way to interpret this is there is a Leo, and this is air energy as well, right? So there's either some hurtful words being said, or I'm seeing for some situations there was a Leo because Leo is ruled by the heart. So I'm seeing the heart here being stabbed 3 times. So there could have been, you could be in a Leo, there is a Leo listening that dealt with an Aquarius with a third party situation. So this Aquarius either, you know, wanted to be with someone else or left you, or maybe was talking and texting and communicating because the swords are communication as well. So if you're also, there could be an Aquarius dealing with a broken heart because of third party situations for a Leo too, because that's just showing up very, very strongly here. These are the three cards that popped out at first. So there is that, guys, and there's a lot of different ways to interpret that. So make sure you're listening with your own intuition as well. Okay, so also real quick here before we move on, I'm seeing this Three of Swords card. All right, so we already know that that there's Aquarius and Leo energy dealing with a lot of heartbreak right now. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not sure how you're dealing with the North and South Node, But if you're feeling pressure, I want you to know that there is a lot going on here, especially right now, because the moon, which symbolizes emotion. So if you're feeling more emotional, I think the moon will be in Leo until about the 7th or 8th, maybe the 9th, because it will move into Virgo eventually. So this is something that you can check online and things like that. But it's in Leo for the next couple of days, guys. And so this is emotions. And also Aquarius, that's right opposite of you. So there's going to be emotions. And Taurus, Scorpio, you guys too. That you're all showing up here somewhere in this reading in so many different ways. So this may be a longer video. I'm just going to try my best to interpret it how I see it, because it feels very important here. So since there's the Star card, the Strength, and then the Three of Swords, I'm seeing here that the reason why some Aquariuses out there are heartbroken because there's no clarity. It's because I see these clouds here and there's no emotional clarity. So there's something here with needing emotional clarity because there's rain coming down, which is water. And to me, that symbolizes kind of like a sadness. I'm just seeing here that there was something here that wasn't emotionally clear. And if it's not emotional clarity, then it's just straight up clarity. So there was some Aquariuses, there may be a heartbreaking situation. Maybe you left a Leo in the past because you didn't have emotional clarity. And here I see you pouring out a lot of yourself, like you're trying to give yourself to the situation a lot. You're doing the work that you have to do. You're keeping faith in the situation. But then there's this heartbreak here on some level. So there's also some pouring down of the waters here. And you see the cloudy energy. So that's just like your heart ain't clear. Somebody didn't have clarity of the heart. And that could be for you too, Leo. I'm not sure. Whatever, apply it to your situation. There's some lack of clarity there. And there's some cloudiness around the heart. So Leo, your heart chakra could be feeling really clouded. And there's also some guardedness going on here too. There's a lot of guarding. So for some of you, the Aquarius and Leo relationships, there's definitely something there. Now, I'm seeing here in the notes, because I had this energy about an hour ago too, and there were certain things that I was picking up on then, and I felt it important enough to write down. So there's something about faith in a situation too. Leo, you really want to make sure you're having faith in certain situations, and you too, Aquarius, you need to have the strength right now. And Leo, you need to have, as far as your wishes and things like that, and what you want to manifest for yourself, you really want to keep the faith and make sure that you are wishing. You want to have the strength to wish right now. But there's something there about not having faith in a relationship or having faith in the communication. There's clouded communication as well. So make sure you're communicating clearly. And like I said here, I'm going to check this off as I go, guys. So, all right, we talked about that. And then there's third-party situations. And that's for all of it. And we're going to have to incorporate this in different ways. Okay, but let's just do it. The bottom of the deck was the Two of Cups. So I'm seeing here that there is, you might be an Aquarius wanting a relationship. You might be a Leo wanting a relationship. But this isn't just any relationship. And I do see this lion here. So I'm seeing that Leo, your heart is broken, but you really do want to intertwine yourself in love. The Two of Cups is about a 50-50 relationship. And they both have, in these cups here, these are their emotions. They're offering everything. Like Leo wants that real deal. You see what I mean? Like above Leo here is the infinity. So this is forever. Like Leo rules the heart. So they be offering their heart to people completely. And they want the forever deal. Like they want that good, solid, grounded relationship. Because I do see underneath the Two of Cups, we have the Hierophant. So Leo and maybe Aquarius too, there's a want here. There's a wish being made to heal a heart and to bring in a traditional marriage, or even, to get married is what I was going to say. To bring in a traditional relationship or do things in a traditional way. You want to really get married and settle down. And this is a earth over here. This is an earth energy. So, and it's a fixed energy as well. So you want a very stable and grounded relationship. And this is Aquarius and Leo, both, and actually Scorpio and Taurus too, because this is the Taurus card. And this is where Taurus is showing up in the reading. This is how I know that it's for all the fixed signs right now. So Taurus is really wanting they want an emotional relationship, or they want they want to give as much as they receive in somebody, right? And you could be a Taurus wanting to be with a Leo. This could be the Taurus that was involved in the third party situations. So there's something here. I see the World card. Okay, so it's either way. There's Tauruses with Leos. There's Leos with Aquariuses. There's Aquariuses with Scorpios. There's like all these energies are intertwining, right? And there's this circle around this woman that we see. So you guys are all connected in some way right now. So if you can make sure you comment all your different scenarios and what you receive from this message that I'm giving you. But you guys all showed up. And it's just so crazy because it's hard to explain. And I wish I could show you the reading, but the way my desk is set up, it's just the first three cards though is the Star, Strength, Three of Swords, the World, King of Swords, Nine of Cups, and then we have a decision being made at the bottom. So moving on to the World and all four corners of the universe, I do see up here the Scorpio and Aquarius. They're glaring at each other pretty intensely. You see, Scorpio is right here, and he is just glaring across at Aquarius. So there may be some intense energies in the universe with Scorpio and Aquarius right now. Aquarius, you don't look you just look determined, okay? But Scorpio is really glaring hard over at you. And so I just seen that as, you know, maybe some miscommunications. There's in the universe, okay? If you're a Scorpio and you haven't been doing well with an Aquarius, whichever way the situation's playing out, if you're a Scorpio and you have a boss Aquarius and y'all just been, ooh, not liking each other lately, well, yeah, it's showing up in the reading here. And, you know, Leo, you just look happy and Taurus is just chilling. But I really am drawn to the Aquarius and Scorpio in this card in this reading. Spirit really showed me that earlier, and it's just that Scorpio look. That Scorpio look right there that they are giving that peaceful Aquarius. Like Aquarius just wants the peace. You guys are just intellectual. You know, you look pretty stern here though. So there's a stern Aquarius and a pissed off Scorpio. So there's something there with that. And then another thing I noticed about this card, guys, is every single corner there's cloud around you guys, and that is your energy. That's your spirit, but it's also a lack of clarity. So I just want you to know that collectively, your guys' energy reached out to me to say I don't have clarity right now. Like I don't have clarity and everything's a little smoky and hazy right now, and there's definitely a need for that, you guys, because right smack dab in the middle of the reading is the King of Swords, and this is someone who handles cloudiness. You see how there's a little bit of cloud in this King of Swords, but that's only on one side of him. On the other side, it's all clear, and it's because of that sword he has there. You know, that sword is a metaphor for really, really good communication. It's this guy, there's not a lot of feelings here, and I am going to mention that there's no water. The only reason Scorpio is in this reading is this Two of Cups over here that I just so happen to have. Like these two cards are considered the underlying energy. So there's an underlying energy here of a Taurus, and this is the Cups. So Scorpio is there, and then Scorpio, you're on this card. So, you know, there is a lack of emotion in this reading, even though Scorpio is present. So there's something there with that, because the King of Swords is not the feeliest person. You know, he's too busy. He has a lot of logical and intellectual decisions to make. So he can hide his emotions a little bit, and that's coming out right in the middle. So it's interesting that we have this card. This could be a colder figure, I want to say, a rather cold figure. So, you know, Aquarius, Scorpio, like Taurus, Leo, any of you could, this is the middle of it. So I do see this also. I seen this as Aquarius first. It didn't dawn on me till later that this was also Scorpio and Taurus, because until the Taurus card showed itself. And then I realized, wow, that fixed energy. This is a lot to do with Leo and Aquarius. But then it's just, there's a Taurus involved somewhere, and there's a Scorpio involved. So this is all the opposites fixed signs. And then I'd be darned if the World card didn't show up. So I know for sure. But at first I was reading it just for Leo and Aquarius. And so I'm going to interpret the rest of that situation. I guess this is going to be a little all over the place, and I hope that it comes out the way that it needs to. But as far as the Aquarius, you were coming up in the middle. So, you know, you are going through a lot of changes. Also, Leo, too. The World card is a lot of changes. It's changes happening for all four of these fixed signs. But at first, it really drew to me that Aquarius was in the middle here, and we do have these butterflies in the back of this throne. So that's transformation, and transformation is Scorpio. So I'm telling you, there's some Scorpio Aquarius relationships in here. And if it's not Aquarius in the middle, it's a need for mental clarity. It's a need for uh, top dog communication. Like there is some communication going on here, because there's swords here. We have the Three of Swords, and we have the Two of Swords, and we have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords, you can apply that energy to the decisions you have to make, because this is a very heart crossing energy, literally, because there's a cross going through your heart, and then there's a cross going through the Two of Swords energy too. And we do have the Two of Swords energy coming up at the bottom of the reading, and we'll get to that there. So you want to apply the King of Swords energy, which is someone who doesn't, he's not going to cry about a heartbreak. He is sad. He's secretly sad, but he's going to remain intellectual to the best of his ability. And a lot of these mental changes going on. So I do see that also here with the air element surrounding you all. There's a lot of mental changes. Your mental state has changed, and it is harmonious. It can be, and there could be a celebration also with the World card, but there is some past heartbreak that's coming up, at the beginning. And with this King of Swords in the middle here, he would do well with the energy of the Three of Swords. Like the King of Swords, I mean, there is the Ace of Swords, but I would say the King of Swords is he kind of holds the Ace of Swords. Okay, and I'll do a whole entire reading about that too, because that's interesting. But he's the king. Kings are very noble. They're very steady figures. This always reminds me of Aquarius or Libra, but it's also Gemini. But this really does make me feel like an Aquarius or Libra energy. And in this reading, it's air, and so it's coming up for Aquarius, and for everybody else, it's coming up as your mental clarity. So Aquarius, let's see here, how I read it earlier. Let's see. Okay, earlier the message came through for there's no clarity for Aquarius. So there's no clarity for Aquarius, and Leo it says literally no clarity for Aquarius and a broken heart for Leo. So yeah, and then you want to use words from the heart, because what I noticed here earlier, and I'm glad I took notes, because some of this, you really want to, when you receive a message from spirit, the longer you wait, the more you're able to mess with the message. When I just like to tell it as I'm receiving it. So I seen this Three of Swords earlier, and then I seen the King of Swords, and that's communication. So you want to be careful, because words are symbolized here by the sword, and you see how they're penetrating that heart. So this is an argument happening that really broke a heart, and someone said some really harsh words that really penetrated the heart, whether it be the Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus. But there's some strong words being said here that really hurt and cut deep, and they broke a heart. And so you want to speak from the heart. Okay, if for those of you who didn't deal with an argument and that didn't deal with words penetrating you, so words penetrating the heart isn't a bad thing. Have you ever heard someone say something and it penetrates your heart? You'll remember it forever. Well, there's either the positive interpretation of that or the negative. Words that's so interesting, because I was thinking the other day, and I actually put out a tweet about this, and I said that words could either hurt or heal. So that is exactly what the Three of Swords is trying to say. So where there was mean words said before, just know that you can communicate again strongly from the heart. There's something here. So I don't know if you're a Scorpio with a Taurus or a Taurus with a Leo or any of that. Either way, you all need to speak from the heart right now, because there's a lack of clarity and a lot of emotion. The water comes from the cloud. So when your mind is cloudy, it's so weird how we can relate our emotions to the rain coming down. It's in that cloudiness, and it's in that kind of lack of clarity, which is, you might want to express yourself with emotions, because there is a lot of heavy emotion with all these signs right now, a lot. So let's move on here. I really liked that though, that words penetrate the heart. So, make sure you're speaking from a very deep, deep, deep place right now. Okay, the world card. So yeah, there's all the fixed energies on the world card. We talked about the North and South Node being Aquarius and Leo. So if you're a Scorpio, a Taurus, a Leo, or an Aquarius, you're a part of a fixed energy thing. Okay, I'll show you this card again. This is you guys all together on here. So we know, just like all the mutable signs, just like all the cardinal signs, well, all the fixed signs are together. And it can be very much harmonious and balanced. And there's something going on with you all right now. There is a lack of clarity. And I am seeing, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but you guys are all pretty vulnerable. I guess I realized that, I guess I mentioned that with the Aquarius card. So there's something here, and just using this kind of star card to symbolize, it also, other than Aquarius, it's also faith, like we talked about. So there's something here about having faith in the world, or being very vulnerable in the world. And I think that this vulnerability is coming from the intense energies, right? If you've been feeling vulnerable, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, it's showing up here in the reading. You are pouring yourself out a lot into these situations. See, I'm just saying here, because this woman here, that she's naked in both of these tarot cards. So it could be very possible that you are feeling vulnerable because of a wish that you made, or because of how much energy you're pouring into a situation. But there's some vulnerability coming up here. And I'm seeing that the vulnerability could be coming up for all signs, any signs. It doesn't matter what sign it is, there's just some vulnerability here. I think I'm going to shut my window. Just the blind part of it, at least. Just a little. All right. So definitely some vulnerability. And I just placed that up there by the Aquarius card. So, Aquarius could be doing some heavy thinking about the world also, or it's just all of you though. So let's see. I already talked about you guys all wanting clarity with the smoke around you guys, and having a hazy kind of energy if you've been feeling like that, because there's changes. So change. You guys are changing. Okay, so the King of Swords. We talked about that a little bit. So I did see this as an Aquarius at first. And for all of you, it would just symbolize you embodying a strong air energy, embodying a strong intellectual energy. Because this is interesting that it came up right in the middle. So, there is some stone coldness going on a little bit, guys, but I think that's because of the betrayal and the heartbreak, and there's some transformation backing you up. So, that is an Aquarius with a Scorpio energy, clarity, cutting your way through certain fights. But I'm glad that I see this cloudy energy, because I do see clouds in the World card, and I do see clouds in the Three of Swords card. And then I see clouds on the little bit of, they're in back of the King of Swords. So you have the opportunity here to handle these mental decisions, this mental cloudiness. You can handle it with the King of Swords energy. He's really good to show up in the middle. And there's also, that means all this is kind of focused around mental clarity as well, because your mental clarity is transforming. And there could have been some heartbreak, that got in the way of that mental clarity. So the fact that the King of Swords is in the middle, that means there's a strong focus on clarity, that you guys want to be mentally stable in your relationships, and you need steady conversation as well, because the King of Swords can hold a conversation. It might be small talk, but so some of you, whether you're with any sign that you're with, the fixed signs really need mental clarity and steady conversation right now. So if the communication is kind of blocked and choppy, and you're not getting the mental clarity that you need, it's really going to cause some bad arguments. So there is the Nine of Swords coming up here, and we have the not Nine of Swords, sorry, maybe some of it, because the Nine of Swords is symbolic for, it's interesting that I would say that, because that's mental anxiety, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Nine of Cups, which is a little different. Nine of Cups, this is emotional contentment. So, and this is also a wish being made. So there's this Aquarius wish energy. So a lot of you all are wishing for certain things. Some of you are wishing for strength. Some of you are wishing for a healed heart. Some of you are wishing for a Two of Cups relationship. You want to feel emotionally secure and safe in your relationship. This guy is really content with his emotions, and he has everything he needs. His arms are crossed, so he's a little guarded, and that really did show up to me earlier. So there's, this is also Scorpio. You're emotionally guarded right now. You have a lot surrounding you. You have a lot of emotions surrounding you. Some of you could be rather content in your lifestyle, because these cups could be filled with anything. All right. But this is the only time you show up, Scorpio, other than in the World card. So I got to look at the cups as you. So the Two Cups cards that we have are the Nine of Cups and the Two of Cups. So you want to share emotions with somebody, and you also want to be able, this is trusting a relationship a lot. To take one of these cups. This guy, he puts his cups up on this wall and he saves them. Like, that's why his arms are crossed, because he wants to enjoy this contentment for a while. So for him to take one of those cups down and give it to another person, and there's this lion in the middle of that. So it's a very strong thing in order for you to do that. And Scorpio, this could be, actually, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, all of you, you could be with a completely different sign. This could be a Scorpio with someone else as well. This did come up a lot as fixed energies, but I want you guys to apply this to any relationships you're having. If you hear a message and it didn't match up, but it sounded similar, like that's how spirit works. Okay? So you could be a Scorpio wanting mental clarity with a Sagittarius. It doesn't matter what the sign is, but I'm seeing that there's a wish here being made for the Two of Cups. And I was just comparing that to the Scorpio energy, because Scorpio would be showing up as the cups. So I'm seeing here that there's a wish for emotional contentment, and to not only have emotional contentment, but to have someone to share that with. And that goes for the other signs as well. Aquarius, you could be wishing for emotional stability, or to just be like, look how this guy feels. How would you feel if there was 9 cups surrounding you? He has everything he wants, he's surrounded by it. So this is the want and wish and dreams, to be surrounded by everything you could possibly desire. So there's something there with that as well. And then there's sharing that desire with another person. This is a very good relationship. And I do see this a lot. Leo, you're really coming through here for a relationship. Leo, there's some Leos out there that really want a relationship. And you're intertwining yourself in this love. Like, you really want to intertwine yourself in this love. And it's also for the other signs, that means you want to intertwine strength with somebody. And this came out with Taurus. So Taurus, you could be wanting this with someone. Taurus, you could be with a water sign as well, a Scorpio or a Pisces or a Cancer, because you're coming up with this energy. This was the underlying energy. But, my intuition works however it does, and right underneath it was this. So I'm seeing some of you are married to these zodiac signs, or you really want to. I think Leo, you really want to be married. That's coming very strongly. Leo wants to be with someone for infinity. Okay, and they're thinking about that too, because we have this infinity sign over the Leo. The Leo is this lion looking up here at this infinity with this woman. And this goes for women, Leo, and men, and everyone else too. Masculine and feminine energies. So for same sex and everything like that too. But it doesn't matter. It's a traditional union. And okay, so I do see here that there's some, like I was mentioning here with this Nine of Cups, I do see that there's some guarded energy. So when it comes to emotions, some of you could be guarding your emotional contentment, or not being honest about not feeling emotionally content. Like Taurus here, Taurus really wants to emotionally connect with someone. This is emotional stability. And it's like intertwining in a strong way both of your guys' emotions. Like, I'm gonna offer you the same amount of emotions that you offer me. And Taurus energy it's coming up that you really want to share that. You're ready to express your emotions to someone. Okay, because of the way that the cards are falling here. But yeah, there's some guardedness here, and the Three of Swords is in this card. So I'd be guarded too. And there's also, obviously, I'm seeing that all of you are feeling mentally blocked dealing with certain arguments in different ways too. So there's a reason why your arms would be crossed. And I'm saying that because we have the arms crossed here with the emotions and all the cups, but we also have it here. Okay, so there's a lot of mental blocks. There's some emotional, because I see the crescent moon here in the back and all that water. So a lot of people think that the Two of Swords is just a decision mentally, but when I see the Two of Swords, I see that there's so much emotion behind her. So much emotion behind her. And that her emotions are even rocky, because we see these rocks here too. And then there's mountains in the distance. So this person has been through a lot emotionally. And now these decisions are coming up. So this is a very hard decision to make, but we do have the King of Swords in this reading. So, you know, we can be happy about that. But there's some mentally blocking energy here, because we have the arms crossed, right? And then she's blindfolded. So you don't want to blind yourself to certain choices that you have to make, because this is coming up right below the World card. Okay, so no matter what, I see that you all are changing on different levels, with that North and South Node being in a fixed sign. And I think you're starting to change what you need and require for emotional contentment. Because the Nine of Swords is a wish. You really want to be focusing on this wish. It's good luck. We have the World, the Star, and the Nine of Cups. Those are all energies that can indicate a wish coming true, or good luck, or good fortune. But at the bottom, these cards kind of go together. We have this this Knight of Wands. So there's going to be some decisions, and maybe even some communication, blocked communication, coming, you know, really, really quickly. Because the Knight of Wands, this is a fast charging energy, and it is a fire energy. So Leo, I see that Leo, you want to handle these decisions really passionately and really quickly. But Leo, you're also really guarded. You're coming up here gung-ho, and you're coming up here, you know, what I meant to say is in the knight, the armor that the knight is wearing. It symbolizes protection. So you're passionate with the, you see the salamanders here and all the fire coming from him, and then he has this wand. Wand is fire energy, but it's also fire energy being blocked, I see, because of this. You're very protected, Leo, and I understand why. I understand why you'd have some passionate decisions. You're really at a crossroads here. And I'm really drawn to this three of swords up here by your energy. This is why you're guarded. This is, you know, you might really be wanting to either get back with someone from the past, because we are in a Mercury retrograde. So there could be decisions from the past coming back, some heartbreak being revisited, that now you have to choose if you're going to get back with this person or not, or if you're going to text this person back. But you're really thinking strongly about this heartbreak. So the Aquarius and Leos, you guys dating and stuff like that, there's some heartbreak coming up, some pain and betrayal, third-party situations, and those were the first three cards that came out. So your guys' energy really did contact me. And you really want to make sure you're communicating your heartbreak right now, because the King of Swords in the Three of Swords, he would, you know, I know I said he wouldn't be emotional. Well, it's because he'd rather communicate about his heartbreak. He doesn't want to cry about it and be depressed about it. It's important to him that he communicates why his heart is broke and why he doesn't have mental clarity or emotional clarity. So for any of you needing to do that, whoever it may be, just you want to communicate the changes you're going through as well. And you want to communicate the fact that you have some decisions, right? Some of you may need to communicate about the decisions you have to make. And if you're not communicating about it, it will feel really heavy for you. Because with the World card here and then the Two of Swords, these are really intense emotional decisions that you have to make. And if you keep that in, you'll just take it out on your partner, and it'll manifest in ways that you didn't mean. So that's why the King of Swords is right in the middle of this reading, you guys. Because he's a good decision maker. You know, all these emotions back there, he won't allow that to dictate how the decision goes. So communicate your heartbreak. Communicate the decisions that you make about those heartbreaks. Communicate what you want. Because we have the King of Swords right here by the Nine of Cups. So you want to communicate. It's important for the King of Swords to communicate what does make him emotionally content. It's weird. Maybe there's something here with someone being shocked, you know, that the King of Swords has so many emotions. And it's like, You're someone who really usually just wants mental clarity, but you want emotional clarity now too. That's coming up very strongly here, and that's because things are changing. So make sure that you're using that sword to also communicate about emotions. That's a loophole. You know, the King of Swords is not supposed to have emotions, right? Well, there's butterflies behind his throne, so he can change. And sometimes having your emotions stabilized, it can create mental stability. Have you ever, if you're an Aquarius or someone else cross watching this or something, you know, have you ever dealt with emotions and it thrown off your mental clarity? There's a connection there. So there's something here with communicating your emotions. I already talked about Leo feeling very protected right now because you're coming up as the Knight of Wands. For everyone else, there's just a passionate decision. There's emotional, passionate decisions. It's very rocky, and this energy is charging in. So there's a lot of quick passion, and this is air and fire down here. So Aquarius and Leo, I'm telling you, there's some decisions that you need to make. And so I just thought that was interesting to see that there was air and fire down there, and the air and fire started this off. So that is Leo and Aquarius energy, and but for everyone else, you could just see it and hear it as fire is a symbol of passion and expression. So this is expressing passionately the decisions. Like if this knight were to express that he feels like this Two of Swords, you know, that would be a beautiful energy. That's balance. But it is charging really quickly. But I think the Two of Swords could use some passion. So there's some passion coming back real quick, and then it's gonna make a lot of you have to make a decision because the world is changing. We have the World card here. And we talked about you guys wanting a grounded relationship. There's Aquariuses and Leos and Tauruses and Scorpios everywhere that want a grounded, traditional relationship. This is the underlying energy here. So there's all these different energies. And if you're curious, underneath that is the Nine of Wands, which is a guarded energy. So there's something here, you're feeling guarded, but you want to connect emotionally with someone. So I talked about Aquarius and Scorpio. That part cracks me up. I see it though, the Aquarius and Scorpio arguments up here. And everything else too. Aquarius, you could be arguing with, if it's not a Scorpio, it's just someone who's really intense. And Scorpio, you could be arguing with an intellectual figure. But both of those energies are, you know. But then we have the King of Swords after that. So this is, I don't really think the King of Swords is an arguer. Like, you know, I'm sure he could manifest as an argument, but this doesn't look like someone who's even ever willing to move. He's so still, you know, he has a calm and stillness about him. And he's mentally, you know, arguments happen when two people aren't mentally stable or when they're not communicating in a stable way. You know, so there's a need to be doing that right here in the middle. So yeah, Aquarius, Scorpio, you guys are looking at each other right in the eye, but it looks rough, and you're looking directly at each other. So there's something there with that. You guys need to talk things out and get that energy feeling more calm. And I think it's because could have something to do with this heartbreak up here at the top. And Scorpio, you guys have Mars coming into your sign soon, so be careful communicating aggressively with people who are intellectual or with an Aquarius or any air sign. So there's also here something with Taurus and Scorpio. Have we talked about that a lot? Because you guys are the opposites. This is a Taurus Scorpio energy as well. But I do see here that Taurus has options because there's these two men down here. So there's a Taurus energy that has options. Okay, because it kind of looks similar. I don't know why that's coming up, why that came to me earlier, but there's something here with a Taurus having options. Okay, and emotional options, or you know, just wanting to ground your emotions and wanting an emotional relationship. There's also some Tauruses with Leos as well. Okay, there's all these energies in lots of different ways. I mean, there could be a Leo with a Scorpio for all I know. I'd love to hear it, what you guys are going through, because this message just kind of came out at me. And I've reached the end of my notes here, so I'm glad I covered most of that. I wrote here that Scorpio needs emotional contentment. So that's something that came out earlier too. And I'm going to put this on the ground now. But yeah, dude, that pretty intense energies to be coming up, guys. And I'm just going to look here for any other messages. But that is the most of it. That's what happened to me today. Just had this message kind of come out for you guys. So there is a need here. It's interesting that Leo is the North Node in this reading as well. It's right above the King of Swords. So, you know, there is a need here to follow that kind of North Node in Leo, and to follow your own strength, and to communicate in a very strong way about what would make you feel emotionally full. Let's see. I like that this Three of Swords is above the Nine of Cups, because it's like emotionally fulfillment after heartbreak. It starts off with heartbreak. It starts off with an opposition of heartbreak. I do see that all the fixed signs are dealing with betrayal and heartbreak on different levels. Probably because of the retrograde, bringing that back up. But and that might be why you guys are all cloudy too. There's some heartbreak here with an Aquarius and a Scorpio. There's some heartbreak here with Aquarius and Leo. There's some heartbreak here that has to do with a wish that you had. A very strong wish. It might cause some arguments or something, but there's a need to communicate clearly about all this stuff, especially about the changes happening between all you signs. You know, it could either feel chaotic or it could feel like harmony, these changes. I mean, change is coming up. The Star card is pouring down on the World card. So Aquarius is actually healing the whole world right now. So thank you, Aquarius. And I can show you what I mean here. We have the Star card right like this. The Star card is right above the World card. And I feel like that's the Aquarius South Node, really pouring down, replenishing the world. And Aquarius is a fixed air sign, you know. So they could be trying their best to maintain emotional clarity for all of us in the world, because the South Node is what we learn from and things like that. So, and then we have an air energy, which is symbolic for all of us, but also Aquarius right smack dab in the middle. So I am seeing that there are some really world changes happening on. Either way, you're surrounded by a lot of energy. The Nine of Cups surrounding you, or this kind of celebration. So there is an emotional celebration too. Some of you could be getting back together, and if you just needed verification that it was okay to heal your heart, this video should do it. Because I'm seeing here that there's some, you know, just some mental clarity being cleared up. And then I think that's why it ends here with this Two of Swords and this Knight of Wands. Just be careful not to protect your fiery energy that much. All of you, because there is an underlying energy of this kind of stabilized energy, this Taurus Two of Cups energy, this relationship, this grounded relationship, or this strong emotional connection with someone. Even though you're guarded, there still can be infinity and balance, right? And you don't have to guard yourself, because I am seeing here that a lot of you are guarding yourself. I'm just going to look here. Very important messages, guys. There's healing that needs to take place. Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. Your world needs to heal. And you want to make sure you're content and you're emotionally fulfilled. And there's some decisions coming up, guys. There's some mentally, intellectual, even emotional decisions. And there's the Knight of Wands just charging towards these decisions. So charge towards them. And if you do have to protect yourself, that's okay. At least you're moving now. Whereas before you were kind of just, stuck with these decisions, going back and forth in your head, I guess I want to say. And then this Knight of Wands just kind of came. So that is interesting, you guys. I feel like there's more I can say about it, but I tried to say everything that I could. I feel as though Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo energy really had a message here. And I am going to pull, I'm using these cards this month for Sagittarius season. They're the Indigo Angel cards. So I'm going to, I probably won't ever feel like I explained that well enough. But, that's the best I can do right now, you guys. I just want you to know that your energy, it did come through. And that there are certain messages for you guys. And I wanted to record that now rather than later. Just because I didn't want to forget your guys' messages or anything like that. So let's get a card for Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio energy. Just for this kind of reading here, Spirit. And we can just kind of tie in this energy. To the reading and just get a little bit more about it. So what else do you have to say, Spirit? Alright, well, the Mother Mary just flipped over. So that is a very beautiful protecting energy. But she flipped back over. So there's something there with the Mother Mary. A very protective angel there. Mother Mary. Okay, so this is the card that popped out for you guys. Love yourself. So this is for the people who are heartbroken. This is for people who are in the crossroads of a decision to make. You want to love yourself first. It's really important that, I know we want relationships and we want these perfect, traditional, grounded relationships, but it's really important that we love ourselves first, all right? We have to love ourselves before someone can come in and be attracted to us in that way. So I really like these cards together. Right? You want to love yourself in your vulnerable states. You want to love all the parts of you as well, too. And, Aquarius, the card came up for Aquarius, the star card. So love yourself and love your vulnerabilities. Love your heartbreak. You can heal yourself as well. Right now is a time to believe in ourselves. So, and that's interesting. I just kind of cut the deck there, and at the bottom it says believe in yourself. So there is an underlying energy here of believing. Well, all right, I didn't see these cards, but we had patience and freedom come out. And these cards came out for this month for Tarot Tuesday. So you want to be patient for the freedom that you want as well, to take those kind of leaps, right? These are two kind of opposite energies. Someone who's being patient and someone who's taking a leap of freedom. So you have the freedom to be patient as well. And you want to believe in yourself and set yourself free from any of these energies here that are more of I feel like the Two of Swords and the Three of Swords can be kind of, I just don't feel like they're happy cards that much. This girl, she really does need some healing, or this guy. Either way, this is just a girl in the card. And she's really mentally conflicted, and she has a lot of pent-up emotions that she's not making herself allowed to see, which is what the blindfold here is symbolic of. So, but I love that the Knight of Wands came out with this, because there's a lot of passion coming your way if you feel like this Two of Swords. If you don't know what to choose, or if you feel this is like a block of communication happening too, because the swords are communication cards. So there's some passionate communication that's going to take place for all of you guys. And I do believe, with this love yourself here and this Two of Cups, some of you could be these energies for yourself as well. In order, first, it's saying before you can receive this kind of grounded relationship balance that is, strength is coming up strongly too. But there's lots of different ways that we can be strong, and loving ourselves is one of the easiest ways to do that. You know, that's restoring our strength and healing our own self. And we gain power that way instead of waiting for someone to come along and do the things that we could have been doing for ourselves this whole time. So I feel like someone also needed to hear that. Make sure you're believing in yourself, which is the card that came up this week for Tarot Tuesday. And make sure you're loving yourself and healing your own self and not waiting around, because I see that this guy is alone too. I see that the Star card is alone too. The World card, there's someone who is vulnerable and alone in the middle, but surrounded by certain energies in the universe as well. You know, so I am seeing that a lot of these cards came up alone. Okay, the King of Swords is very alone, but he does have the Queen of Swords mentally. The only card that has more than one person in it is Leo in the Two of Cups. So Leo does not want to be alone right now, for sure. Leo wants to intertwine himself or herself. See the infinity symbol up there. But this is about being strong on your own too, Leo. Okay? You're going to have this Two of Cups relationship as soon as you love yourself first. You have to love yourself enough to communicate the things that you want. Plus, you're going through a lot of changes, everyone. You know, and you want to celebrate that right now. Celebrate certain wishes coming true, because I do see that as well. But there's just a need to communicate all this right now. And some of you may even be communicating that you love yourself, and maybe you just need a little bit more time. But then we see this Knight of Wands, who doesn't need more time at all. He is ready to go. He's protected. And all of you could be feeling this kind of way. Some of you could be protecting or charging forward protected with your passions, though. So very interesting message to come out, you guys. I think this is all I'm getting for the energy right now. And I'm happy that I was able to get it recorded for you guys instead of waiting, because it just came out tonight, and I feel like Spirit knows when to deliver certain messages to certain people. And I strongly believe that this was meant to be. If you have any questions or comments or anything about this video, please feel free to comment below. I would love to hear how all of you... Oh, my battery's low. I guess I just kind of felt the energy that... Because I really didn't look at it much. I'm glad it didn't shut off. See, everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I'd love to hear how you guys... how this related to you all. Because I really... The energies are each and every different way. So... It's very interesting, but we do see Aquarius here. We see Leo. We see Taurus. And, you know, we do see Scorpio because of the World card and because of the Cups energy that showed up. But Scorpio wouldn't come out and reveal itself. You know, that's not how Scorpio is. We just had a Scorpio new moon. So, you know, Scorpio is pretty hidden right now, but I'm very, very spiritual. So I do see you, Scorpio. I see you, and you are going through some of these things as well. But okay, guys, let me know what you thought about this reading, and I will definitely be speaking to you guys more in December. I have a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about. So if you watch my other videos, I will see you in the December Tarot Monthlies. All right, let me know what you think. See you later.